Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. However you're tuning in, whenever you're tuning in, welcome into Sports with Balls. Look, having some issues with Instagram, not on my end. That's on StreamYard's end. So if I'm not getting you on Instagram, sorry. That's all there is to it. It is what it is. On this Friday, welcome into the show. I'm still checking on this Instagram thing, but it looks like they're having some issues over there. So we'll just do it without the Insta. We're doing a couple minutes early today because I got some things to do. That's all there is to it. So as far as the live show is concerned, about 10 minutes earlier than usual. We'll try to blast through these hot topics just like we always do here on Sports with Balls. And before we get going, definitely want to thank a couple of people. Number one being Christian's Tailgate. ChristiansTailgate.com. Best place to watch and eat. Watch sports, eat food. They just got another award for their food. Place is just phenomenal. Go to ChristiansTailgate.com. Find one near you. Get it in. Also, Josh Smith over at Modern Home Improvement and Remodeling. Go to modern-homeimprovement.com. 281-949-8925. Josh Smith will get it done for you. Want to add another one in this morning because I gave him a shout out earlier on social media. And by the way, go to Sports with Balls on all of your social media outlets. I don't have his banner up. Oh, Johnny Van Lee, fixing your credit. I'll put it up on the social media. Go to Sports with Balls, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. TikTok's blowing up. Blowing up, man. It's crazy. I never thought I'd be TikTok famous, but here we are. Welcome into the show. Got a lot going on today on this Friday, February the 2nd. Hope you guys are having a good February. Only 2 days in. Groundhog Day. He did not see his shadow this morning. What? I don't know if y'all believe in that. I don't get it. Look, good for tradition or whatever it is, but he did not see his shadow today, which means spring comes early, which means winter will be over sooner. For those of y'all that don't know about the groundhog. So today is Groundhog Day, National Bubblegum Day, Tater Tot Day, Ukulele, Wear Red, hence the shirt wearing red. There's a funny one coming up, guys, by the way. Let's see. What else we got? Bubblegum Day, told you crepe, National Crepe Day. National Brendan, if your name's Brendan. Brown Dog. Today's National Brown Dog Day. National Catcher Day. Who's your favorite catcher in MLB? Johnny Bench, maybe? Craig Biggio when he was catching, maybe prior to that. National Catcher's Day. Also, if your name is Frank the Tank, today's your day as well. And by far, the funniest one is Working Naked Day. That is not, I'm not making this up, folks. Every day I bring you all this stuff, and I'm telling you, today is National Working Naked Day. Now, unfortunately, I had to go with the red because until I'm in the gym a little bit longer, I'm not sure if y'all want to see me naked on air. So there it is. There's all your days. Rheumatoid arthritis day, which a lot of people struggle with. There's a ton of them. Working naked, though, that takes the cake. So if you have an opportunity today and you're at home, work naked. So there you go. The groundhog, I told y'all earlier, did not see a shadow. Spring will come early. What are we getting into today? We have NBA news. I've got Major League Baseball news. I've got NFL news. I'll try to get into those college basketball rankings I was going to do yesterday. Just not that exciting right now. It's until late February, getting into March. Sorry, it just is what it is. What else? Did anybody get arrested last night? What's going on? The teams flew to Vegas. I know they're there. You know the teams, they're staying 28 miles away from the actual city of Las Vegas. Smart. We will do today in sports history. Later on, I'll try to get a parlay of the day in for you. But let's go over the headlines. Let's hit it. Joel Embiid. Torn meniscus. I don't know what this means for him. I don't know how long he's going to be out. And they don't know yet either. They're going to take the weekend to kind of go over it. But, man, talk about a blow for the Philadelphia 76ers. For the NBA in general, he's one of the great personalities, man. Joel Embiid is awesome. But he will be out for a while. It says a torn meniscus is what I'm hearing. Google that all you want. It's not good. I don't think that he's going to be returning anytime soon, and that spells trouble for the 76ers, who, let's be honest, man, are they running up against it as far as their opportunities to win a championship? I would think so. But bad news there. Also, in the NBA, you had a trade. The Houston Rockets are in a trade with the Memphis Grizzlies. Steven Adams goes to the Rockets for Victor Oladipo, who's just been injury prone the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, injury prone, barely played. So the Rockets get Steven Adams. The Memphis Grizzlies get Victor Oladipo and 3 second-round picks. Now, I'm not sure on the Rockets picks. Hopefully they have a ton, because that's a terrible trade. Sorry. I don't know, man. That doesn't seem good for me. That doesn't seem good at all for the Rockets. 3 second-rounders? By the way, now, the NBA is moving to a 2-day draft. Oh, a 2-day draft in the NBA. Oh, golly. I don't know what else for this league to do. And it was funny because yesterday I'm going off about the NBA and about what they're supposed to do to make this league a little bit more entertaining. And guess what? One of the biggest matchups of the year, the Los Angeles Lakers at the number 1 best team in NBA, Boston Celtics. People waiting, fans, kids waiting to see this game all year long. LA at Boston, the bitter rivalry, the championship runs between both these teams, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis sit out. I don't care about the outcome. I don't. I know that people and kids wanted to see this game. I know they bought tickets. I'm sure they weren't cheap. Floor seats to that game a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Unbelievable. LeBron James and Anthony Davis sit out. Man. I'm going to keep harping on the NBA, man. I'm sorry. But until they get this issue fixed, I don't know what to do. It's just not fun to watch. And your star players run the teams. It is a player-run league by far. The coaches, nobody even knows who the coaches are for 3/4 of these NBA teams. Nobody. Unless you're a massive NBA fan, you could name, and even if you are, you could probably name half, if not 3/4. But the general public that watches sports and enjoys sports and wants to tune in to the NBA doesn't even know 3/4 of the coaches' names in the NBA. Much less there's teams that they don't know a single player on. You only know one player on the Spurs. That's because they shoved him down your face and he's 7'4". That's one of the coaches everybody knows. But think about it. I don't know what the NBA does, but you can't have LeBron James and Anthony Davis sitting out in Boston, one of the biggest games of the year. And they're like, nah. There's rumors flying everywhere that LeBron James, obviously the leader of that team, the headliner in LA, is going to fire the coach. And I mean that. When I say it, LeBron James will fire the coach. He will be the deciding factor. And that's what I mean by player-run league. That's not good. That's not good at all. I don't care who LeBron James is or how much he's accomplished. You can't be the deciding factor on who gets fired. Look what happened to the Bucks. The Bucks fired their coach. They're 0-3 since. And look, we heard all the rumors about Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the one that wanted him gone. He's gone. They're 0-3. And they got beat by some pretty bad teams. The NBA is an absolute disaster. It is a mess. The last guy on the bench makes about $8 to $10 million a year. And he never sees the floor. He makes twice what the coach makes. And they have all the say. Players have all the say. And I don't know how you fix it. You can't bring back these contracts. You can't reel in what you've already put out there. So the NBA, man, there's some issues there. There's some real problems with that league. Y'all complained about David Stern over and over and over, but y'all wish you had him now. Not the players. The players, man, if you're going to play for a league right now, it's the NBA. They run it. They make all the money. They make all the decisions. There's no way that you can have a head coach that doesn't make even a eighth of what maybe the last player on that team makes, and they have any say. I mean, are we allowed cameras or visitations to practices? I want to see the practices. Is this Phil Jackson getting on players, getting on Mike, getting on Scotty? Can they even do that anymore? Are you allowed to raise your voice at a player in the NBA anymore? It's just a boring game. It is. I don't know what they need to do, but they have really messed this game up. There are people out there that can fix it. I'm not one of them. I would love to know what the answer is. I used to love watching the NBA. I think all of us, most of us at least, used to love watching the NBA. It was fantastic. There were rivalries. The other day, I saw Golden State and LA play. The entire game, Steph Curry and LeBron James were just laughing it up, man. How much money do you make? Oh, man, I made this. It was unbelievable. It was LeBron and Steph just laughing it up, man, having a blast out there. Just like it was a pickup game at LA Fitness, man. That wouldn't have flown even 15 years ago. You hated that person. When you step on the court, you want to beat that team. They don't care about wins and losses. They don't. They're just out there playing for some money. That's it. That's sad. That absolutely sucks. I don't know how you get that competitive nature back in these players, how you fix it, but man, it's just not fun to watch. These guys love playing with each other. It's just like, hey, man, what are you doing next year? You want to come play with my team? Yay, let's go do this. I don't know where that, man, remember Barkley and Jordan going at it? Yeah, that maybe off the court, they're all right, but on the court, man. And that's what, that's what there's none of anymore. There's none. There's not a player in the NBA that doesn't like another player. We bitch and moan about Draymond Green. Maybe we need that. Maybe we need a few more Draymonds and the NBA will get back what it used to be. I'm just trying to be honest, man. It's boring to watch. And look, Draymond now is almost must-watch TV. Whatever it takes to get this game back to watchable, sign me up. So, look, do better, NBA. Do better. Last night, the Lakers did beat Boston, though. And look, I'm not going to read all scores. Like, y'all don't even care about the standings, do you? Like, honestly, do y'all care who's first in East or West? Nope. Nobody does. Y'all can't even tell me if 8 teams get in or 10 teams get in now. There's wild card games in the NBA and all sorts of the NBA it's just nuts, man. It's just absolutely, it's a free for all. Somebody's got to get a hold of it and turn it back to what it was, man, because it is not fun to watch. All right, there's my rant on the NBA. Let's move over to the NFL. Super Bowl coming up. You had this. Did anybody watch the skills challenge last night? I didn't. Not at all. I did see there was some hate towards Jalen Hurts. I guess he was competing in some of these contests. The Eagles, what a mess. So I didn't watch any of it. I'm sorry. My son was writing a paper, and I was more concerned about his schoolwork than I was watching the NBA or the NFL skills competition. There are some interesting things in the NFL happening right now, though, aside from KC and San Francisco. Harbaugh says he's in line for multiple championships in LA. That is the Chargers. Obviously, Harbaugh being the head coach of the Chargers now. Sorry, man. I don't see that. I don't. Unfortunately, I just don't see it in Chargers. Look, Harbaugh wins wherever he goes, unless there's some major changes. Is Austin Eckler, is he staying? Is he going to be happy? You've got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Mike Williams can't even stay on the field. Keenan Allen's hurt a lot too. There's some issues to overcome. Everybody thought that the Chargers head coaching job was going to be the best one. And granted, they got a good quarterback. He's not great. Stop putting him up there with great. He's a good quarterback. He's not great. That is for sure. Is when it comes to those guys between Mahomes, Allen, Herbert, Lawrence, all that. He's down there with Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert is. He's not great. So I think it's going to be harder for Harbaugh to win than he thinks it is. He's going to have to get some people there. That's for sure. Bosa's got to stay healthy as well. And there was an interesting development that happened yesterday. The NFL committee, at a joint committee, finds that injuries across are the same across the surfaces of the NFL. Okay, which means artificial turf and grass, all the same. I know we always bitch about MetLife Field. Everybody does, because the injuries that happen on that field. But they did a whole study on it, and it's similar across all surfaces. So, can we please stop that argument? Can we please stop that argument? Injuries happen in the NFL regardless of what surface they're playing on. It just is what it is. I'm sure certain players would prefer to play on grass, and some players would actually. Tyreek Hill, I bet he prefers to play on turf. He's fast. Another thing that happened in the NFL yesterday, Cliff Kingsbury, the man with the hot wife. I'm sorry, but I had to say it. If you have not Googled Cliff Kingsbury's wife, not wife, girlfriend, I believe, goes from Arizona to Las Vegas. He is now the offensive coordinator in Vegas. Man, watch out. Now, I say that on the pretense that Vegas will have a quarterback, because I don't think Jimmy G is the answer over there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But they have their head coach now, and they've got an incredible offensive coordinator. Vegas, and look, their defense is going to be on point. We know that. So I would be, Vegas is going to be good. I've got to feel, I think Vegas will be better than LA, the Chargers. I'll put it to you that way. And they have Herbert. Vegas got a good job on getting Cliff Kingsbury. That is a hell of a hire. And out of nowhere, splash. That's a great splash hire. Good job. Very good job. And on the flip side, the Dallas Cowboys lose their defensive coordinator. And a lot of people say the guy that pretty much got them to where they are, Dan Quinn. Uh-oh. Micah Parsons goes on Twitter saying, bring me there. Is Dallas falling apart? Is Dallas falling apart? Dan Quinn leaves and goes to become the new head coach of the Washington Commanders. Great hire. Although Dan Quinn's been in this position, didn't work out so well. Maybe he's a coordinator. There's some guys that are coordinators and not head coaches. That's just the way it is. Sometimes they're coordinators, sometimes they're head coaches. Dan Quinn was not that good of a head coach, but a great coordinator. So we're going to see what he can do with Washington. But I think the bigger story here is that Dallas loses Dan Quinn. Quietly, that guy was running that team, especially obviously defensively, but well-respected in the locker room. I don't think that Mike McCarthy has any respect for any of the players or from any of the players. So this could be an actual huge ordeal for the Dallas Cowboys. You want to know what I think they should do? Hire Bill Belichick as a defensive coordinator. Now, will he do that? Probably not. But can you imagine Mike McCarthy, head coach, Bill Belichick as the defensive coordinator, but basically we know who the head coach would be. And Mike McCarthy, that's his last year. Bill Belichick rolls right into the head coaching job next year. That's what the Cowboys should do. Will they do it? Probably not, but they have no defensive coordinator right now, and they lost one hell of a guy in Dan Quinn to the Washington Commanders. Ouch. What else we got going on today, man? Those are my rants. Let's see. MLB. Oh, there is some Major League Baseball news. Baseball's coming up. Pitchers and catchers reporting, 12 days? Something like that? I think something like that. But there was a huge trade that went down yesterday. We know the Baltimore Orioles are selling to a group that involves Grant Hill, Cal Ripken, $1.725 billion, which to me, that's a bargain. This team's set up for success. They may be worth $6 billion in about 4 years. They've got some killer players, and they just got another one. Corbin Burns, former Cy Young winner, heads to Baltimore in a trade with the Milwaukee Brewers. And I don't think the Brewers got much. I think they got 2 infielders. Yeah. And now you've got Kyle Bradish, Grayson Rodriguez, and Corbin Burns in Baltimore. That's a good team. That is a real good team. They got Dean Kramer, Tyler Wells, John Means. Man, I drop 100. I don't know what Vegas has the odds are right now for Orioles winning the World Series. I drop 100 on it because I'm sure it's plus at least 1,000, if not 1,500. But he could change that team again, especially with baseball more than any other sport. Injuries, man, injuries. So you just need to be careful. You know, starting pitcher gets hurt and it's over. What else we got going on in Major League Baseball? Dodgers lower Paxton's guaranteed to $7 million. Meh. I told you about Ripken and Grant Hill among the group purchasing the Baltimore Orioles. And yeah, that's it. We're just waiting on pitchers and catchers to report. I would tell you the exact date. I want to say it's 12 days. I know that I know the Houston Astros kick off March 28th. But look, I'll put it to you this way. There will be baseball played this month. It will be on television. They will be playing preseason games this month. In February, we will see baseball. So, boom. I can't wait for that. Man, what else we got going on? Embiid, we talked about that. We talked about the Grizzlies. By the way, if you guys missed anything in the first 21 minutes of this show, it will all be up podcast version directly after the show. I will put it up. Go to Apple, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. It will be on there. All right, let's get into the men's rankings. Fine. Let's do it. The NCAA men's ranking. I told you I'd do it yesterday. We couldn't get to it. I will nail it today. AP top 25. The UConn Huskies are number 1, followed by Purdue, North Carolina, and the number 4 Houston Cougars, who they got one vote to actually be number 1. So all these teams, aside from North Carolina, only have 2 losses. Then you get into the 4 and 5 loss teams, starting with Tennessee, Wisconsin, Duke up in the top 10. Good for them. Kansas, Marquette, Kentucky. Where's my Memphis Tigers? I thought they were doing pretty good. Guess not. TCU bottoms out the 25 at 15 and 5. Utah State, probably a surprise in there at 18 and 2. Good for them. Dayton 16 and 3. Good for them. Other than that, you know, you got your normals. Creighton, you've got Auburn, you've got Baylor, Florida Atlantic, Oklahoma, Alabama. So, look, I'm not going to categorize this like NBA. I'm not going to say that at all. But good college basketball, awesome, fun for on-campus stuff, and it's exciting. But as far as us, the general public, and college basketball is concerned, we're not going to really get revved up until about another 2 weeks from now. Until about the end of February, when we're heading into March Madness, and you start doing these conference tournaments. That's when we're starting to start really getting on it. That's when the real gambling begins. And I will start dipping way more into college basketball whenever we get around to that. Let's see. I want to get into today in sports history. There's a couple of really good things. There's some golf news. Today in 1949, Ben Hogan got in that serious car accident, which knocked him out for, I think, a couple of years. He did make a comeback and did incredible, but that happened today in 1949. Vince Lombardi signs 5-year contract to coach the NFL Green Bay Packers in 1959. What else we got going on? Lefty Gomez. There was a couple of other really good ones. Oh, there was a Super Bowl played in 2020 between the San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs in 2020, and we all know how that turned out. Kansas City Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers 31-20. The MVP of that game, the one and only Patrick Mahomes. We will revisit that situation in 8 days. What else? There was another Super Bowl in 2014 at MetLife Stadium. The Seattle Seahawks beat the Denver Broncos. I was in Denver for the Super Bowl. Remember, this is the Super Bowl where the first play of the game, they snapped the ball over Peyton Manning's head. Yeah, and it never, they absolutely destroyed Denver 42-8. Now, of course, Peyton Manning came back and won a Super Bowl after that, but that was absolutely embarrassing for the Denver Broncos. That happened today in sports history. All right, guys, want to thank Christian's Tailgate. Go to christianstailgate.com. Awesome place to watch all of the games, all of the fights. There's a couple of huge fights coming up, by the way. We'll get into that as they approach. But go to ChristiansTailgate.com. Find one near you. Man, go to happy hour there. Go get your drink on. They've got the award-winning food. I've told y'all, it's fantastic. Go to ChristiansTailgate.com. Also, Josh Smith over at Modern Home Improvement and Remodeling. Go to modern-homeimprovement.com. 281-949-8925. Man, whatever you need done, just whatever. He'll pour concrete for your driveway. He builds new fences, kitchen remodels, bathroom remodels. Mention Sports with Balls. Get $500 off. And the man I'm going to see here in a minute, Peter H. Dedinas, attorney at law. Enough is said. 713-675-5555. Yeah, I've got lunch with you, Pete, here in a little bit, and we are going. All right, guys, thank you for joining the show. Podcast version will be up. Y'all have a good and safe weekend. Wear some red today, man. February the 2nd. We'll see you on Monday. I'm out of here.